Listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Stop. Look. Listen to your heart, hear what
Top City's finest. Hey man, look. Whew. We are back with another one.
Motown Philly's back again.
Look, this is a special moment, man. We got our first guest on this thing, man.
The first guest.
The first guest, making history, groundbreaking. Dog, go ahead and introduce my guy.
Right here today we have a Kansas product, specifically Top City, Topeka, Kansas. A lot of you guys may not know. I know most people ask me, where's Wichita? Well, Top City is the capital of the great state of Kansas. We got a real live football player here today. Real live, living, breathing, professional pro ball player. Knows what he's talking about. Has experience with the game. Knows more than most everyday human beings walking around Earth sharing their opinion about football. Branden Dozier, formerly known as Doz, as we call him, as most people call him. I don't know many people that call you Branden. Maybe
Facts.
Maybe
my
mother,
mom.
father.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Doge. I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Big
know Branden.
Doge, yeah. Big Doge from Top City.
Top City. Yes, sir.
What is that? Is that the 305? Oh, no, that's not 305. What's that, Mike? What's the area?
785.
785.
785.
Yeah,
Okay.
785.
Well, yeah, a lot of people didn't know that. Y'all probably won't remember it. Doge, how long you been playing football, man?
Since I was a kid. I mean, I've been playing like total probably like 15 years. I mean, going back to like elementary school. So, yeah. It's kind of
15 years.
Go ahead.
15 years, man. That's a long time to be playing football. So you started off, you said in elementary school. So we had a couple topics last week about, kids young like that playing football, concussions, things like that. What was your parents' philosophy around that? Was your dad a football player? What are your thoughts about playing football that young?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching my dad play. So my parents had me young. They had me at 16. So I seen my dad play in high school. I don't remember it, but I do remember him playing in college. So he played at New Mexico State. So I'm a kid just running through the stands like, oh, daddy's playing ball. And that's all I wanted to do. So and when I was young, I lived in New Mexico, and they actually didn't let us play until I think it was like sixth grade or something. Like it was the first year you were eligible to play. So we actually moved. Once he finished at Coffeyville, we moved back to Kansas, and that was when I was actually able to play. And I think I started in like third grade. I think that was the first year.
Yeah, I started around the same time.
Real young.
So second, third grade.
Mm-hmm.
So you start playing that young. You play in middle school. Did you play for your middle school, or did you play just little league football for the city?
Yeah. So starting off, I just played in the city league, like when you're in elementary school. But then once you get to middle school, then I started playing for the middle school team.
And what middle school was that?
Washburn Rural Middle School.
Washburn Rural Middle School. So you were at Washburn Middle School, and then it went right into high school.
Yep, right across the street.
Right across the street.
Right across they need to name that street Branden Dozier Street.
Branden Dozier Street, the best way.
If I go back and start this dynasty, if I get into coaching, go back and start this rural dynasty.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been playing for football a while. We're at middle school at Washburn Rural, right? What position do you play when you're a kid?
When I was a kid, I was just a running back. I think when I was like really little, I was running back, linebacker. And then when I got into high school, I was running back and safety.
Running back and safety. So traditionally, you're a running back. So you like to score the touchdown.
Oh, dear.
So So you told us in high school you moved to safety. How do you transition from running back to safety? They're two completely different positions, and what was it
Well,
like?
my sophomore year when I got to varsity, I was just strictly running back, and then going into that junior year, my coach pulled me aside, like, "Hey man, I'm gonna need you on both sides of the ball." So he was like, "I'm gonna ask you to sacrifice and come play defense," because I actually had in high school I had zero interest in hitting anybody. I was straight ankle biter. I was like, man, that is defense is not fun. Give me the ball, let me run the
Right.
touchdown. That's all I wanted. But that's how I
So
got into playing safety.
when your coach asked you, was you kind of reluctant at first? Like, nah, I'm cool. Like, I'm kind of cool on it, or you was like, I'll do whatever for the team.
Yeah, I was like, I'll do whatever for the team, but I was hoping like, all right, I'll just be the deep safety. They make a play, I'd be cool.
They throw something up, I can run underneath it. Maybe jump up and grab
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 100%.
Okay,
That's funny.
so at the time of this game, I believe it's your senior year. It's my sophomore year. I'm not on the field at all. Wichita Heights High School. Um, the first time our paths crossed, we obviously probably shook hands in the
That's
line
crazy.
somewhere in that game, not knowing who each other are, not knowing that we would ever meet each other. Um,
That's crazy.
but we put a beat down on you guys that game, right?
Yeah, we all did. That needs to be brought up. That needs to be brought up, man.
Look, I didn't touch the
That was
field.
playoffs too. That was
That was the
playoffs.
playoffs.
He had to,
Yeah, but
he had to rub that one in.
yeah, I had to mention it. That's a little snippet from me and Dozier's background. So you play at Washburn Rule. You play your senior year. You're still kind of playing running back, and you're still kind of playing safety. So you're getting recruited. You end up going where at a high school?
To Butler Community College.
Butler Community College, which is a small town right here, and well, it's in Andover or is it El Dorado? They got two campuses, one in
El
El
Andover,
Dorado. Yep.
one in El Dorado. That's where the main campus is. So they recruited you to play what position?
Safety.
They recruited you to play safety. So
Yeah.
now you've played running back all the way up until your senior year. You barely playing just a little bit of safety your senior year. You obviously just told us you don't like shit. You probably don't want to do it. You definitely have no interest in doing it for the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 years of however long college lasts for you. How do you get mentally prepared to play college safety?
Really, it was kind of, my dad was kind of just talking me through it. Hey, man, you got to start coming through and put your chest on people if you're going to play defense. And at the time, so I had, offers to go other places. I could have went to, the D2s in the state and played running back. And then I could have went to the other JUCOs and played running back. But the only one that would take me at safety was Butler. And or the only one that wouldn't take me at running back was Butler. And I wanted to win. I was in high school we'd start off 5-0, and then we get to district. We'd lose every game except my senior year when we won one game and then got to go to playoffs, and we played Heights, got whooped. I wanted to win. Butler had a winning tradition, so I went on my visit and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I would like to play running back. And the coach told me, he said, hey, you could come here and play running back, but you will not play. I'll tell you that. And then he was like, but I need a safety. He was like, you got the body type that I need. He was like, you want to come be a winner? Come play safety for me. So I actually,
That's real.
Yeah, I signed my letter of intent to go to Hutch at first, and then
You made the right decision.
Yeah, on when I went to fax it in, something didn't feel right. Something didn't feel right when I went to fax it in. And so I told my coach, man, it don't feel right. And then he was like, man, go with your gut. So I ripped the paper up, signed the one to go to Butler.
Go to Butler.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Making boss moves at that early age.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up.
And Butler ended up working out for you, right? I mean, you had a pretty good time there. What was it like?
Oh yeah, Butler was that probably I would say is I probably give them the most credit for where I am today. Just because one, the DB coach there, Jordan Abbott, he taught me how to be a DB because, I had really no experience with that. So he taught me how to be a DB, taught me how to tackle, how to be physical, and just transfer all my running back stuff over to defense. And so they really kind of gave me the right mindset to go on to my 4 year and actually be a effective safety.
Yeah. So I mean, you come from Washburn and then you go to El Dorado. Did you redshirt your freshman year, or did you play your freshman year?
Yeah, I played my first year.
Played your first year. So you go to Butler, you play your first year. You end up becoming, your time at Butler, you become first team all-conference player, Y'all win back-to-back conference championships. Y'all even make it to the national championship. So, with that experience, like, what did you prepare for all that? Like, what prepared you for all that? Like, going to summer workouts, doing all this JUCO stuff. I went JUCO as well, so I know the JUCO struggle. Like, Can you just talk about, like, going through that JUCO struggle?
Yeah, JUCO struggle is nothing like it. It's one of those things like you guys probably see, kids nowadays, they put JUCO product in their bios and stuff just because everybody understands like the grind that you have to go through, to actually make it out of JUCO. But it's just one of those things that like, you have that certain level of respect for other people that you come across. It's just like, hey, even here, where I'm at now, you talk to somebody like, yeah, I went to JUCO. Oh shit! It's like you automatically have that connection. Like, okay,
he
a JUCO boy because it's a grind. There's no rules. The coaches can work you out as much as they want to, and it's just one of those things that it's hard to explain because at a 4 year you work out every single day, but that JUCO grind, it just doesn't compare to anything else.
So going to the JUCOs, like the out-of-staters always try to talk crazy on the Kansas kids.
Oh,
you know how that go. So is there any stories where it was like you have to show the out-of-staters like, yeah, this is like we can do this shit too,
Yeah, I mean, it's, daily, every day you're in the locker room, somebody new comes in, and you just get to asking, yeah, where you from? Because, somebody from Kansas don't look like somebody from Alabama. It's pretty easy to tell, like, okay, yeah, he not from around here. Okay, he definitely look like a Kansas kid. So you automatically off rip be like, okay, so where you from? This and that. So, being a Kansas kid, being a DB, they like, oh, y'all don't know how to play no ball. All right, well, cool, let's find out, so. It was always a battle, especially when, my second year when I came in and I was the number one guy, just coming in constantly battling with those guys thinking, but it's hard to be a freshman, come in and, beat somebody that's been there. So,
yeah, especially go ahead.
Let me interject real quick. So to preface all of this, we're talking about the Jayhawk Conference. This is one of the, if not the best JUCO conference in all of America.
It is.
Would that be? Both the gentlemen, in front of me have played in this conference.
Yeah.
Help me explain to the people, and Grayson, feel free to chime in because you played with one of the better players in the NFL right now. What is it like to compete with your teammates in that conference, but B, the outside, the kids that are going to Tennessee and West Virginia and Iowa and Florida and these other programs?
Yeah, it's just, I know like practice was just as bad as the games, you know what I'm saying? Because like you competing for a spot, you competing because coaches is coming to fall camp. And coming to spring camp, and they watching you practice, so you going hard just like you going hard on your teammates like you would opponents because you trying to get out of there, Spring, you teammates, but you trying to make it out as well, But it's like once you go through all them, like all your teammates, everybody you play in the JUCO, once you go to the wherever you go next, the next 4 year, you already primed for it because you done played just as good competition or even better. So.
Yeah, one thing that I learned pretty quick in JUCO is it don't matter like where you come from once we get on that field. So like I remember we had a guy transferring from Alabama. He walked in first day on campus. Everybody like, oh, there's a guy like he a 5-star recruit out of high school. Yeah, Nick Saban cut him. He here at a JUCO in Kansas. Like it's just one of those things. Like man, like because that's what everybody's dream is. Everybody would love to be a 5-star recruit, go play at Alabama. And then so to step on the field and go against somebody or compete with somebody that like was in that situation and just to realize that you guys are the same, It's just where he might have been recruited better, or he might be 2 inches taller than me, But when it comes down to just straight playing ability, like it's okay, who's the better man now? So I learned that pretty quick at JUCO. It don't matter where you're from.
Yeah. So before we keep going, Doz, I want you to know that I will never forgive you for the collapse of the fantasy football leagues a couple years ago. I will never forgive you for the collapse, bro.
Sometimes you just gotta make a spark, and then if it catches fire, it ain't your fault. It ain't your fault,
bro. This man. The season was almost over, bro. This man he not making it to the playoffs. This man, he starts a riot, and everybody want their money back. Can never forgive you for that.
Yeah, the spark is the correct word, because that's exactly what it was. It was like opening the floodgates, crashing into a gas pump, and then the whole thing blows up. Like it was certainly something. But I was a part of that losing group, so I got.
You
my
wanted your money back,
huh? Yeah.
I ain't mad.
Niggas, boy.
I ain't mad at it.
And,
oh man.
all right, so you hit me. Thanksgiving was today or yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving.
Canadian Thanksgiving. I mean, what they eat in Canada for Thanksgiving?
It's pretty much the same. I mean, I haven't been to like a somebody's family thing up here, just because I'm up here with the team. But yesterday we did like a little potluck. Everybody made their own little thing, but almost everybody there was American. We only had 2 Canadians there, but you seen the plate on Instagram. It was pretty Americanized there.
Yeah, I mean, you had a bunch of football players cooking, so I don't know how good it was.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What did it taste like?
It was pretty good. We had some baked mac and cheese that was from a Florida boy. I actually have no island ties, but like up here at Walmart, they got a whole international section, like in the Walmart here, and you get this this jerk marinade, and I made some jerk chicken, top of the line right there. But then we have some other guys make some stuff.
That's not as traditional. Jerk chicken. That's a nice mix.
I had to throw that in there.
So yeah, we go back to it. I mean, so yeah, you coming out of Butler as a first team all conference player. Y'all you got a winning record. So what was your options coming out of Butler? Like, what was it looking like?
I had UNC Charlotte. I had one of the Eastern Kentucky. And then I had a school called Stony Brook up in Long Island. So those are like my 3 big schools, and everything else kind of small. Like all the other schools fell through. Like I wanted to visit to Memphis, they didn't offer me. Cal came and talked to me, didn't offer me. But yeah, those were my 3 biggest schools right there.
Did you come out? Did you thinking that you would have the big F, like a couple big FBS schools?
I definitely. I definitely was hopeful for that. It's like you see those schools every day at practice. You see them in the coach's office, and it's you think you're playing good, and what's crazy is I'll tell a story is I remember it was probably like the back half of the season. Like everybody was getting offers, and like I had no offers at the time. I remember sitting in my room like, damn, like almost on the verge of tears, like. I'm about to have to go back to Topeka. Like, I don't know what I'm about to do because, my dream was to go play, D1 ball. That was the only reason why I was in El Dorado. And, literally, it's crazy. I remember just sitting there just, literally just sad. And the next day, God hears everything. Yeah, God hears everything. The next day, I walk in, and UNC Charlotte offered me. The head coach was right there, and offered me. So I was like, hey, don't worry. I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah. So right when they offered you, did you commit right on the spot? Or was you he was like?
No, because they were a first year program when they offered me, so I was kind of iffy on it. And then that was still kind of when a couple other schools were talking to me, so I was hoping they were gonna offer. And then I basically broke it down between Stony Brook and Long Island and UNC Charlotte. And then the head coach at Butler, actually they offered our middle linebacker at Butler. He committed, and then that kind of just made it easier for me to commit to. So.
Okay, yeah. So you go from El Dorado, you go from Washburn, well, you go from Topeka, you go to El Dorado, then you move to a big city like Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
What was what was the culture shock?
I mean, it's just eye opening that there's like so much other things in this world, besides what we have in Kansas. Like, in Topeka, that would do fun. You go drive around Wanamaker, or go to the movie theater or the bowling alley or something like that's fun. Now it's like, okay, the amusement park's down the street. Like, there's nightlife. There's, you can do whatever you want. And just how many people they are in this world, and then just kind of, like you said, culture shock, like just a different way of life for people. In Kansas, you go somewhere else, you go down to Florida, and you be like, hey, these dudes a little different over here, So So that was probably the biggest shock to me.
Yeah, and I live here now, so I'm already knowing like it's a whole like way different culture. A lot more black people, a lot more people that look like you. So I'm already knowing. So you get to UNCC, seems like you was already primed for the to play there already, because your first year you led the team in tackles with the school record of 86 tackles. Then you had a single game record with 4 PBUs at Campbell in 2014. Like, was the transition to D1 football, was it easy for you?
Yeah, I get. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it was.
It was just football.
Yeah, it was just football, I got to come in the spring semester, so that was kind of got all my transition out of me, instead of having to come in and immediately go to camp right to games. So I got a spring semester out of me. The strength coach was really good, so they put some size on me there. So at Butler, I was 190. I think I started my junior year with Charlotte. I think I was 205, and then that next spring after that, I got up to 215 at one point in time, and I was like, oh, this is way too big. I had to cut down a little bit. I didn't like that. So actually, it wasn't 215. I think it was 210. I think it was 210 is what I got to, and I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna fly. But
boulders on his shoulders.
Yeah, actually, those four PBUs actually were drop picks. So it don't sound as good.
Oh God. Oh God.
It went 4 drop picks. I think 2 of them
I'm
were
about to say
picks.
4 drop picks.
Yeah.
It was two.
Right.
And that game was televised. I watched that game. You played a great game. Yeah, but one of them would have went to the
was bad. That was my first D1 game, so it was.
Yeah, you was happy. But you was in the right spot, though. So
a plus minus.
I know you still got up and was like, no fly zone.
Oh yeah. He didn't catch it. He didn't catch it.
Oh dear. So what you go to Charlotte, the living situation, the meal prep, or the dining, the living, the facilities, what was the was it a whole 180? What was the difference from JUCO?
Yeah, I mean, JUCO. I mean, at Butler we actually had some pretty nice facilities, compared to what I've seen at other JUCOs. So it was just times 100 once you got to the big school. The campus is huge. You had to walk to buildings. Our weight room was 3 times the size we had at Butler. Brand new stadium. The calf actually had food you wanted to eat. That JUCO food is just kind of
you gotta eat
it. You gotta eat it. You're forcing yourself to eat it. And then you get JUCO. You got the for breakfast they're making you omelets and shit, and it's let's throw some bacon in there, some ham or something. Feel like I'm a king around here, So, and you hear teammates complain that went from right from high school to straight to the 4 year. Man, I'm like, what? Yeah, I'll take yours. Come on.
They don't even know.
They don't even know. But as far as those rules that you're talking about with JUCO, the D1 life don't have that. It's just it's very regulated. You have your class schedule. In JUCO, your schedule goes around football compared to football goes around your classes at a 4 year.
Yeah. So, all right. So you finishing up your time at UNCC. Like, what was your pro day process like?
I had moved down to Atlanta. I moved down to Atlanta. I was training at a gym, and that was probably like one of the funnest like 6 months I've had in my life. You know, it was just all it was for 6 months literally just football all day. Wake up, work out 2-3 times a day, and then go mess around in Atlanta. You know, so it's another big city I've never been to. And I'm just like, man, they're doing all types of stuff down here. They got hookah in every, like, you go to a pizza parlor, there's hookah in there. I'm like, what's this? I don't even smoke hookah, but I'm like amazed, like, damn, that shit look cool, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Trying shit at this point.
yeah, but like I'm training, I'm meeting like NFL guys and stuff like that, or coaches that have been in the NFL, and they're telling us all these stories, getting us excited, and and it's just football all day, every day. So like the pro day process was like really fun. So
going through that process, did you like, was there any teams like we're gonna draft you or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, I had my agent, pump faking me lies, just blowing smoke. Was like, man, this team's interested in you, this, that, and that. And then, so I'm, it's one of those things like you're expecting it to happen, but you don't know it's gonna happen. And then you don't realize till like years later, and you meet guys that got drafted that like there are certain things you're supposed to do, like like your junior year, like turn in something, you get like a draft grade and shit like that. Like there's certain things like that I never did. I'm just thinking, okay, I just go out here run a 40 and shit happens, and they watch my film, but it didn't necessarily work out like that. But no teams really talked to me. It was kind of my agent was saying, this is what's gonna happen. So that was kind of pre-pro day. At my pro day, there was a couple teams there. I actually did 2 pro days. I did one at Charlotte, and then I actually got into Campbell's pro day. They let me in their pro day, and after that one, the Steelers actually like pulled me aside and talked to me on that one. So that was probably the only interaction I had with NFL teams.
Yeah. So just to go right into that, you get invited to Steelers rookie minicamp. And you told us a funny story one day on Xbox about an interaction with you and Mike Tomlin. Can you want to tell people about that?
Yeah, so it was like a 3-day camp. At the end of day 2, this article comes out about me, and it's like the Steelers find diamond in the rough. Like I actually had a really good day, and like I've never had my phone blow up like this. Like it's boom, boom, boom. Like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like everybody I've ever known in my life is posting about me, like on their page, like
in the house.
Yeah. I'm a wholesome man. I don't have it like that, everybody's blowing me up, and so I'm reading this article. So I'm in the hotel room, like thinking Green go to the last day of camp. I'm looking at my playbook extra. I'm like, man, I'm balling. Like I've never felt so like just like on a high in my life. Like I was just like I felt like the man. Like nobody in that moment could tell me anything. Like like nothing at all. But the story goes is the next morning we come in for day 3. Mike Tomlin every day he goes over good plays and bad plays from the day before. And so he goes through all the good plays, and then he's going through the bad plays. Well, the last clip is up there, and I'm in on the last clip. I'm thinking in my head, like, before it starts, I'm like, man, who fucked up? Because I didn't. So I was like, I didn't fuck up. So somebody out here must have fucked up. And then so all of a sudden, Mike Tomlin, he starts circling me. And, I'm like, why the fuck is he circling me? And he's like, damn, Charlotte. That's what he called me. He called me Charlotte. That's where I went to school. He goes, damn, Charlotte, you want me to keep you here, then you go and do some shit like this. And, like, all of a sudden, that high went out, and my damn heart was in my stomach. Mind you, everybody's in this meeting, like all the coaches, the GM, like I don't even know if the owners in there, but like literally everybody in the organization is in this fucking meeting. And he goes, so the clip goes is play. I roll to the post, and we're in no huddle period. So I roll to the post, boom, it's a sweep play. I break, NFL it's always finish to the ball, run to the ball, so I'm running to the ball, but when I broke out the post, my shoe had fell off. So boom, I break, my shoe slips off, and on film you can't see when the whistle blows. So I'm running full speed, And all of a sudden the whistle blows, and on my head, all I'm thinking is get my shoe because we're in no huddle. I got to get ready for the next play. Because the shit was fast. We had all these million checks to make, and I'm thinking, boom, get my shoe. So on the film, it shows me run, and it shows me slow up. It doesn't show me finish through the running back. So the whole time, Mike Tomlin is circling me. He goes, damn, Charlotte. He was like, I was just starting to like your ass. Then you do some shit like this. He goes, he said, what are you going to do when I put you into beats like this? It was literally it was Le'Veon Bell running the same exact play the offense ran. It was a post safety from the Eagles coming down. Le'Veon shakes him, goes 60 to the crib. He's like, you going to be like this guy right here? Boom, drops the clicker into the meeting. That was the last thing. So I'm just
that was the last thing.
I don't know what to do. I'm just like stuck in my chair. I'm like stuck like this.
Cup full of rose.
I'm looking around like, hey, what do I do? Like, what do I do? And then after that,
you see my shoe?
Like the whole
yeah, like, you didn't read the article? You didn't read the article?
It's me,
Top City! This Top City,
I'm dead, bro.
Yeah. What made it worse is so right after that we go to position meetings, and that year they had drafted Artie Burns, the corner, in the first round, and in the meeting room he sat in front of me. So boom, we get in the meeting room. Artie Burns turns around, looks at me, he goes, "Damn, bruh, you don't think Coach saw your shoe fell off?" I was like, man, I don't know. He was like, shit, hopefully the DB coach fought for you. I was like, oh, man. He basically said, hey, it's been real. It's been real, my boy.
Oh, damn.
He was showing that first round privilege right there.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, that old Artie Burns.
What can you do, though?
Different story these days.
So, I mean, looking at it now, you're a 4-year pro in the CFL. Yeah. You're now with the what was it? Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah.
In 2018, you was a All-Star in the Eastern Division. Man, so what's the difference between the NFL and Canadian football? Because a lot of people, don't know like what the difference is between the CFL and NFL. So what would you say like the biggest differences are?
It's just the rule changes in a bigger field. So like here, people can move. Like the receivers get a running start. All the defense has to be a yard off the ball. The field is actually 65 yards wide compared to American is 53 yards wide. And then our field is I think it's 120 yards long, and then the end zones are 20 yards each. So compared to American, it's 100 and then 10-yard end zones. So it's that's probably the biggest difference.
Man, it's like it's crazy though. Playing in the CFL, ain't no slouch. Ain't no, people might try to downplay that, but that is definitely great football, great players, great football, great, opportunities for sure.
Living, breathing,
right. So,
professional football player.
I mean, so 2020 COVID comes around, and the CFL ain't playing. Like, they shut down the whole season. Mm-hmm. So that was your first year with no football.
Yeah.
How was it transitioning to playing football every year, 15 years straight? Then COVID hit 2020. There's like no football.
Man, it was very it was like a shell shock. It was kind of like when life hits you, it was kind of like, man, okay, well now I need to answer for what I'm gonna do when ball's not around, because the season's usually 6 months, so then I chill for 2 months, train for another 4, and then it's the season again. It's kind of typically how it goes. But with ball gone, now it's like I'm shit. Ain't no ball. You better get to work. So it really made me sit down and be like, damn, okay, I actually need to figure out what life at the ball looks like. And so 2020 actually taught me a lot about myself, just because I got involved in business and actually I was a working man. I worked my damn ass off. I was up at 5 and then go home till 8. Working in the office and shit. Like so.
You was holding up the Madden League. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. You had to wait till I get home from work. So yeah.
Advance. But I mean,
I just want to.
Go ahead.
I wish eventually we'll get sophisticated enough where we could get the clips of things that are happening in sports. But there's a clip, not of this year, of a couple years ago, I believe. It might have been your first year. I believe you're with the Alouettes. Is that the team name? Mm-hmm. It's a play, and a guy, I think it's just a straight handoff, straight plunge handoff, straight up dive, right up the gut, and you hit this guy in the hole, and I mean, he flips, you completely evaporate him, dismantle him. The ball flies 100 yards into the air. You take the guy, your teammate picks it up, takes it into the end zone. Are you more of a linebacker-like safety, or are you more of a Earl Thomas get-out-and-cover type safety? What kind of style of safety do you play?
That's a good question.
I would say I dabble in both. I would say I'm more physical. That's probably my more natural stage. Is come down into the box. Like in American ball, like that's what I like the most is coming down and because it's the big boys down there. I like to act like I'm a big boy. Come down there and hit some shit. So. But I would say kind of both. I'm more naturally I'm more physical. So I do like to come downhill, but then sometimes I like to show off my range too because people doubt my speed a lot. So then when I get out there and cover half the field, they're like, damn, okay, So I like to do both, but I would probably say a lot of people think I'm more of a hitter.
So I remember I was talking about plays, and Dar, if you find a clip, send it to me. I'll put it in there. I'll put it through that part. But I also remember a play. I don't remember if it was the Book House. Or you scoop and score, but you score and the whole team came and hit the thriller. That story was hard.
Yeah, that was just a pick. Yeah, I got caught before the end zone, but that was we actually planned that like 2 minutes before going on the field because every game it's always like, hey, what are we gonna do for the group celly? And then like literally one guy was like, hey, we're going to hit the thriller. I don't know if he was listening to it with pregame music or something. He was like, all right, boom, hey, whoever gets the pick, we're going to go 2 to the right, 2 to the left, 1, and take off. And then it's just one of those things like,
Bro, they did it perfect.
Yeah. Everybody ran up, did it perfect. It's crazy I don't know if I can go back and find like the actual game, like film of it. But there's one guy, they didn't get it on the TV copy. He's facing everybody else. And he's all like messed up, but they didn't get it on the TV copy. The coach's comments, because after the game, the coach puts all little comments in there so everybody can correct themselves. The only comment on the film was like, "What the hell is DeAndre doing? Tell him about the dance."
DeAndre was on the move.
That's one thing I've noticed about the CFL. Like it's a lot like it's a lot more fun. Like the players are a lot more free. They can do a lot more celebrations, a lot more being themselves type. More freedom with that. So I mean, the 2021, the season's going. So how's the season going right now? You got how many games left? What's going on in the season?
I think we got 5 games left. I think we're 9 games in right now, I believe. We got 5 left. We actually didn't get off to a very good start. We were 2-4, and then we just won back-to-back games against the same team. Up here in the CFL, they do that where you'll play the team, back-to-back weeks. So we won the last 2 games, so we're kind of trending upward right now. So we're in 3rd place right now, which would put us in a playoff spot. Because we beat that team 2 times, and the team we play this week is in 2nd, and if we beat them, we actually tie for 2nd right now. So, we right now it's one of those situations where you control your own destiny, and so the sky's the limit right now for the season. Yeah. Even though 4 and 5 right now, it doesn't sound the best, but up here, teams are 500 and win the Grey Cup. So,
it's all about how you finish, man. It's all about how you finish. So, all right, so we do some quick hitters real quick. All right. Would you rather be a special team only guy in the NFL or a perennial all-star in the CFL?
definitely such things got in the NFL, 100%. Yeah, that money
Yeah,
is
it's a
different.
little more money, huh?
That money is different. Oh, you want me to run out punt? Okay.
That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't
No
no problem.
All right. Big hit fumble or pick six?
Pick six all day. That's the more flashy
Pick six.
play.
Running back.
The big hit play is more for your ego,
Yeah.
But then you gotta go to the next play. The pick six that lives for a while. So
Big hit with the fumble. They fumble. Y'all pick it up.
Crib it.
Pick six all
Pick
day.
six still okay.
Yeah, pick six all day.
Would you have rather skip JUCO and went straight to UNC, or would you rather go through your JUCO route again?
JUCO, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then who's your top 5 safeties? Who's you model your game after?
Oh, all right. So in college, the guy I actually watched a lot of, might be surprising, was Eric Reed at LSU. I wore number 1. He had number 1 as well too. And so I actually watched him a lot. So Eric Reed, I liked Tyrann Mathieu. Of course, you always watch like the Ed Reed clips and then the Brian Dawkins clips. Who else did I watch a lot of? I always watch this guy. I think it's because I was in college. I would watch because I wanted to go to a 4-year, or I wanted to go to big D1 school, so I'd always watch the D1 guys. Trying to figure out what they're doing. I watched a lot of Matt Elam at Florida. Yeah, he used to come down and smack shit. So. And Kenny Vaccaro too. I watched a lot of Kenny Vaccaro, especially at Texas.
These guys are all still balling in the league. Some of them are starting. Yeah, I know. What's his name? Eric Reed is a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, they was blackballing him for a little bit.
Yeah,
though.
he's a baller. Yeah, he got caught up in that cap situation.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I mean, now Dozier is gonna join us on some regular topics, regular what we do every week. He's just a part of the episode. Now ain't no more interviews. All right, so roll tide. They ain't rolling no more. The boys took that L, boy. Got beat up on by Texas A&M. Dar, what you, man? I know you up about that.
Well, I'll try to save my comments for the future because they're on a crash course with a team that Doge is a fan of. His Georgia Bulldogs. You mess with the Georgia
Bulldogs. You gotta get a Bulldog bite.
So I'll say that if you want to talk about that. But I mean, I'm obviously thrilled. But the Alabama machine is still the Alabama machine. I mean, the way for them. I mean, they lose the game to a trash. I mean, Texas A&M. Yeah, they lost at Arkansas. Arkansas, they got a couple quality wins. I mean, they lost to Mississippi State. I mean, this is not the greatest team in the world, despite the preseason rankings. But yet, Alabama drops down a measly 4 spots right to 5. Still completely has everything right in front of them. Championship still right in their destiny. All they do is got to get through that Georgia Bulldog game in the SEC championship. They look good. The offense is still lightning. If the guy doesn't make a kick at the end, then we're probably having a different conversation. If Nick Saban gets another chance to maybe stop him or get a score. So I'm still expecting Alabama to potentially be in the top, but if Georgia can move the ball on them, which a lot of teams are, then I think they can hold down that Alabama offense just enough to win the game. So maybe Alabama misses the playoff this year for the first time, and I don't know how goddamn long.
That's what you think.
I mean, it sounds like Darv is pushing for them not to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice not to have to deal with them. Yeah, they would be lying to say otherwise.
So like them Buckeyes, a little bit of roll tide.
We'll get to the Buckeyes. You just give us time.
Nah, I actually didn't watch that game, but I hear about it all a lot in the locker room because one of Alabama's best receivers, I think his name's John Mechie. His older brother is actually safety here in Calgary. He's a Canadian kid, and that's his younger brother. So whenever that game's on, everybody's betting and watching that. So I actually got to hear about that, and they were pretty mad about that about the Alabama loss up here.
So Big Bro lost some money.
Yeah, I don't know if he bet on it, but I can tell you a couple of people had money on Bama right there. So.
Had money on Bama. Okay, yeah.
So, and then we go into Texas is up 28-7 over Oklahoma. Spencer Rattler gets benched. This is my first time ever seeing something like this. Spencer Rattler comes in, Heisman favorite, and now he's on the bench for a freshman quarterback. He wasn't back to victory with a 55-48 win. They went off a 30-yard run, like crazy game, but just like a typical Big 12 game. Ain't nobody playing no damn defense. Everybody just running it up on each other, Does Oklahoma have a chance to make it to the top four in the playoffs?
1,000% yes. The Big 12 is bad. That was the biggest game that they'll have, and they won it. I believe they're on two different sides, so maybe in the Big 12 championship we get a rematch again. I would love to see that. But as a guy who was a Spencer Rattler, I'm not going to say fan, but I guess a truther who thought he was everything they said he was, who called him the number one quarterback in college football.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about him a whole bunch of previous episodes for sure.
I'm shocked. I'm flabbergasted. I have no idea where the fall off is. It can't be with the coaching because I still think Lincoln Riley's a great coach. He came in, called some great plays for Caleb Williams, who is a true freshman. But let's be clear. He's a 5-star true freshman, and he was the number one dual credit.
Right? Yeah.
Longest run in Oklahoma school history, 77 yards, I believe it was broke Kyler Murray's record. It was 76. So, can they make the playoffs? I'm expecting them to do so. I'm expecting them to get between that 3 and that 4 spot by winning the Big 12 championship. Easy peasy.
I said they'd mess around and trick it off somewhere, calling it. They're gonna trick it off somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they just didn't get put in. They could win the rest and they probably just not get put in. To be honest, especially how Iowa looking. If they come in, they having to roll through the Big Ten. And then Cincinnati is in 3 right now. So
Iowa hits people hard, man. I said that a couple episodes ago. That golly, I hopefully if Ohio State does win a game, hopefully nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, they was that Penn State and Iowa game was crazy. I got to catch the end
Very
of it.
crazy.
Penn State had a good lead, and then the quarterback got hurt. Clifford got hurt, and then after that, bro, I watched the end of the game. It was like 5 false starts in a row. That's how loud the crowd was. Penn State got 5 false starts. It was rocking. So definitely
And then they ran that classic George Kittle play, like that stretch right, and then boots out back the other way, and then they just slip out the tight end right up the rail, and then great play. I don't know why teams don't run it all the time.
So this stuff about Jon Gurden. First, he has, racist remarks about a black man in power. Said that he has lips like Michelin tires.
Oh,
yeah, that was the first one.
I didn't read that one.
I didn't read it all either. Wow, man.
He said he has lips like Michelin tires. Yeah. So when he came out and tried to debunk basically what he was saying, he was like, that's what I say about people who lie, that they have rubber lips or whatever. Like, bro, come on, you're not fooling nobody. So then a couple days later, they go through the emails, some more of his emails, and he has a whole lot of misogynistic and homophobic slurs and talking crazy in his emails for the next up to 7 years from 2011 to 2018, he has all these emails about all this vulgar language, talking about calling his boss, the commissioner of the NFL, a pussy, calling people queers, calling people all this stuff, So, I mean, I hate when people come out as racist and do like these things and say like they don't have a racist bone in their body, or like they don't have an ounce of racism in them, but you literally just said something racist, or like they say they didn't intend to hurt nobody. Well, just because you didn't intend to do it don't mean you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may have not meant to do it. Like, you get in a car accident, somebody didn't intend to hit your car. I'm sure they wasn't driving that day just to hit somebody's car. But your shit still fucked up. You still gonna have to go to the mechanic and get your shit fixed, right? So you still did it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta. And the thing I didn't like about it is that he didn't really admit to his actions. He was saying, I didn't intend to hurt anybody. I didn't, I wasn't coming from a place of racism, but what you said was racist and homophobic and all this thing. So, how would y'all feel how would you feel if your head coach came out and this came out about your head coach?
I mean, yeah, it'd be hard to show up to work. I think that's kind of why he resigned there. I think the right term he used for Roger Goodell was anti-football pussy is what he called him. but yeah, I mean, I agree with exactly what you were saying there. I mean, it's hard to say those type of things and then come back and backtrack and be like, nah, I didn't really mean it. But then again, I side with him a little bit. And coach, especially the homophobic thing, because don't he have a gay player on the team in the starting DN?
Carl Nassib, who forced the fumble on Lamar Jackson in the opener.
It's like, hey, you got a guy making plays, and you over your call, making those remarks, but hopefully the dude has a tough skin. But I mean, he's out the building anyway.
It's over for him in football for sure.
The first thing, and I always do this, is financial. Thank God the Raiders got him to resign, so they got off the hook for that $60 fucking million that they still owed them. Secondly, is I think about Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson, if you don't know, in 2002, I believe the years. Please fact check me if I'm wrong. Put it in the comment section or whatever you want. They won the Super Bowl. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jon Gruden took Tony Dungy, a black man's team, to the Super Bowl after Tony Dungy drafted the players, groomed them, and brought them up and started the Tampa 2 Cover 2 whole thing. Long story short, at the end of that season, after they won the Super Bowl, Keyshawn Johnson's the best wide receiver, probably arguably best offensive player on their team. He cuts him. He cuts him because at the time it was said that Keyshawn Johnson was uncoachable, diva receiver, typical labels that they put on receivers, black people, other things of that nature. And I believe today Keyshawn finally got vindicated after all these goddamn years of having to deal with that label that Jon Gruden put on him. And it comes to find out it's Jon Gruden the one that's fucked up. He's the one that needed to leave the job and shouldn't have never got there. So it just makes me sick to think about all the players that this man probably took an opportunity from, whether it be black or whether perceived to be queerish or whatever, a little sugar in their tank, or maybe not the most alpha male of people. How many opportunities this man took from somebody, and how much money he stole from the goddamn Raiders, and how much money he stole from Tampa Bay, and one thing I'll say this, and it's a stain on Tom Brady's leg. It's not a stain on Tom Brady's legacy because he had nothing to do with it. But the tuck rule game, God doesn't like ugly, and in that tuck rule game, he was playing against Jon Gruden, and Jon Gruden got what he deserved.
Yeah, I mean you definitely got to atone for them actions. Like you it's just not like people do like before you really know, like saying, those words before, like when we were younger, we didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? Now we know better. We can't, you can't say the R word, you can't say the F word, just because, you hurting somebody's feelings or, you making somebody feel like less of a person, So I understand that, but you putting it in writing. You so comfortable. You sitting in your emails. You talking about your boss. You talking about president. Vice president of the United States. You talking about. It's like it can't go no more. You can't be a leader of men and do that. So we recap the NFL. Darv, is there a couple games you want to touch on from this past week in the NFL?
I'll say there's been so much going on. We've missed a lot, about 2 weeks worth. So I'll say Cowboys looking like they'll probably upset my Washington in the NFC least divisional pick. But like the great Stephen A. Smith always says, what will go wrong or what can go wrong will go wrong. So don't get your hopes up too high. Kansas City Chiefs, their defense is
abysmal.
I mean, they need some help from Dozier for sure. They need Sorensen is awful.
I'm ready.
We all agree in Dozier. He can say it from his own mouth if he wants. There's a lot of people that's better than Daniel Sorensen.
Replace Dirty Dan with Dirty Doge.
I said that for years.
With Dirty Doge, yeah. I mean, come
Dirty
on, man.
Doge.
Come on, Sorensen. I mean, I'm not the biggest Chiefs guy, but they're messing up the integrity of my picks with their
that picture with
play.
Tyrann Matthews with his hands up every time Sorensen gives up that wide open touchdown. Hilarious.
Yeah, Honey Badger. I mean, he they don't want to pay him, but they don't want to give him a check though. So I mean, good luck to the Chiefs. Buffalo, they look like the real deal. Tampa, they look like the real deal. And shout out to the Arizona Cardinals, man. Kyler Murray is a great player. He's short, 5'9", 5'8", whatever he is, 5'10", little guy, likes to play Call of Duty. Streams on Twitch, great baseball player, quick, fast Twitch reactions, a great hand-eye coordination. A guy you wish you had in fantasy and a guy you hope you don't play.
Yo, what's your takes on the NFL season so far? Like, what you watched so far? What's your takes on?
I kind of agree with Darv right there. I mean, Tampa looks strong. I think even though they lost the one game, but Arizona actually is actually surprising a lot of people too. I mean, in the locker room, that's been the biggest talk. Is like, man, they're actually going out there and smacking people. And then the Rams as well too. That trade is actually, trying to making them look like geniuses over there. Bringing in Stafford. So, he's over there making Cooper Kupp look like, the next Jerry Rice out there. So.
The great white hope.
The season is it's gonna be interesting to see how it all shakes out at the end.
Yeah, I just want to touch on like Big Ben. They need to take that boy behind the shed and treat him like old Yeller, because that boy is toast. He's done. He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that offense. I mean, they can't do nothing with that no more. The Bengals look good. Like I would never thought I would say that. Joe Burrow looks really good. They should have had the game against the Packers for sure
on Sunday.
Okay, I watched the game. Bro, 5 missed field goals between both kickers. As a player, Doge, your kicker missed 3 field goals in a row.
If it's for game, that's when it hurts. But like when it's like he missed one early, like we're not really tripping on it. All right.
Yeah.
But when it gets to crunch time, like, all right now, hey, you put me in the bind now, so like, come on, man, like, we got to figure something out here. So those end of the games, that's when them players feel it.
So and then let's talk about Justin Herbert. I
Cold.
put him in my MVP candidates. You know, he proved me right now. You know, they put a 47 on the Browns. I thought the Browns their defense was supposed to be like that. They can't stop a nosebleed. I mean, the only team that they done stop is the Bears, and Matt Nagy is
the Vikings too. They held us.
Yeah, but I mean,
unfortunate.
I mean Justin Herbert looks real good. You know, he's looking. They might be the best team in that division if you ask me. The way the Chiefs is playing right now, it's gonna be a battle. And then, who else? Justin Fields finally throws his first touchdown after 3 weeks. But I'm going to talk about my Colts. I win.
And this is messing up the integrity of my picks. Because I have faith in the defense.
It's the worst part.
The defense, to be fair,
it's the worst part. Bro, we let Lamar Jackson throw for 400 yards. 85% completion. Let's
talk
do
about
it.
The game.
So,
talk about the game,
we're
man.
up 19
talk
points.
about the game, man.
We get Lamar to fumble. Darius Leonard's running the ball, running it back, pitch it back. I'm like, oh, we lit. It's lit. We got the momentum. They take it. What?
Like he's Magic Johnson.
They don't take it. They call it a touchdown back. I'm like, all right, we got the ball. We still go down there and score. We still get the touchdown. This nigga Lamar goes in after halftime, comes out a new man, just like he did against the Browns. He must have took a dookie again and came back out the locker room feeling refreshed.
He looked in that mirror,
bro. I can't do it. I can't do it with Carson Wentz anymore, bro. He didn't lose the game, but I just can't do it. We go from a playoff team last year, and now we 1-4. We 1-4. I mean, he can't. I mean, our game-winning drives, he can't finish it out. We got a kicker with a bad hip. We supposed to win the game. We're not even supposed to go into overtime. You make the kick, it's game over. We can't make the kick. Just a whole bunch of shit going on around here, man. How you got them thick ass goggles and can't make a field goal?
He got hurt earlier in the game.
See that
though,
motherfucking
didn't he?
X-ray vision.
Didn't he get hurt earlier in the game?
Yeah, he had a hip problem. He had a hip injury.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening. They sent that other guy out there to kick the shit. Rigoberto Sanchez.
Yeah.
He missed it. Then they brought him back in because the dude jumped off sides. How crazy is that? And he made it. Yeah. But Lamar Jackson is insane. Like we're having to talk about Lamar Jackson almost every week because the games are just absolutely just crazy from the first week to the last week. We got the 66-yard field goal we didn't get to cover. Then we got last week's game. I mean, he might be right there with in the MVP talks too.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna do a segment called Cap or Real Talk. So I'm gonna give y'all a question or a statement. Y'all let me know if it's cap or it's some real shit. The Cowboys the best team in NFC?
Cap.
I'm not gonna dignify that shit with an answer.
That's real talk.
That's
real.
You sound like a Cowboys fan. You sound
I'm not a Cowboys fan.
He's shifting teams.
I'm not.
They're not better.
I'm just saying.
Okay, cap. They're not better than the Bucks, who they already beat them. They're not better than any of the teams. I would take the Cardinals and the Rams over them as well.
Okay. Baker Mayfield is an average quarterback. Cap or real talk?
Real talk.
That's 100% real. Doz, what you think?
I don't know. He has flashes. I'll put him average right now, so I'll say real talk. I wouldn't put him elite by any means, but he shows flashes that he has the potential to be a big time quarterback.
I feel like that potential. It's like you got the Browns got to be thinking I could have picked Josh Allen, I could have picked Lamar Jackson in the same draft, but you could have picked Josh Rosen or Sam Darnold. So I guess you kind of that's the middle of the pack. But for number 1 overall pick, it's kind of all right. The Chiefs are in some deep trouble. Cap or real talk?
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Cap.
I'm agree. It's hard to count them out with that offense. They could take over at any moment. So let them figure that out, and then they could turn a shootout into a dub any moment. So that's why none of that money is going to that defense, because like, all right, cool, shit, we gonna score 50. Hopefully our defense will get one stop. That's all we need. But once they get figured out what's going on over there, which they gotta. Maybe we should trade back for Kareem Hunt, bring him back or something, because he's going crazy for the Browns. And Clyde ain't doing nothing for my fantasy team, man. So he got hurt.
Oh, he on IR now.
Hurt, yeah.
So, man, that's real talk. The Chiefs are in some trouble. Y'all don't think they in trouble? They can't stop nobody, and they turn the ball over more than I ever seen. But like the plays that Patrick Mahomes made before, and he could get away with, it's not happening this year. It's just not. It's falling in his favor right now. I wouldn't say like they're not about to make the playoffs and no crazy shit like that. But for them to make it back to the AFC Championship, win it, and go to the Super Bowl, it's kind of looking. I mean, it's not as guaranteed as it once was before the season started.
I did see this tweet earlier that said it said the excuses y'all make for this light skinned man is unreal. Talking about Chiefs fans.
And they do, and I'm right there with them. I love Patrick Mahomes, and like Doge says, they'll figure the offense out. It's just about getting one or two stops. This last week kind of was like the culmination, kind of like we talked about the first week between the Packers and the Saints. I don't think the Chiefs will ever play a game that bad as they did right there.
Yeah.
And the other games have been right there to win, and they just didn't pull it out at the end.
Okay, one more. Cap Road talk. Lamar Jackson is the MVP thus far.
Cap, yeah, Cap.
Cap.
Yeah, I would say Cap as well, just because.
Who would you guys give it to right now?
I would say Kyler. I put Kyler Murray probably up there first, and then Josh Allen.
Matt Stafford up there too.
Josh Allen is. Yeah, Matt Stafford as well, but he lost the head-to-head with Kyler, so that's the only. I would put Kyler at one, but that's simply because he's undefeated. Josh Allen, oh my goodness, man! If Doge has Stephon Diggs, I was tempted to send him a trade offer to try to buy low on Stephon Diggs, because just wait for it. He's throwing 5 touchdowns a game. There's a couple of them that start going to Stephon Diggs. So hold out on Stephon if you got him in fantasy.
What you think? Who you giving MVP to right now?
I definitely probably Kyler. I'd probably go with Kyler. He's just making those plays. Baby Yoda over there going crazy. So just as of right now, what he's doing with that team that historically has not been a great team. They look really good so far.
Yeah, he's definitely making the more, the MVP worthy plays, like the plays that's on Bleacher Gridiron or Bleacher Report or all this on social media is definitely sparking the talks of the MVP. Man, I mean that's all I got for y'all boys, man. What else y'all want to touch on before we get out of here?
The Ohio State Buckeyes, man, be on the lookout. Slowly starting to creep up that ladder, getting better. Defense flying, offense flying. We got the 2 best wide receivers in the nation. One of the best defensive linemen. I mean, be on the lookout.
Chris O, a first round draft pick.
Yes, for sure.
I think so, but I think Garrett Wilson will go higher. I think Garrett Wilson's NFL potential is a little bit higher.
Yeah, that's me. I'm rocking with my boys. You know it. So, Does anything you want to tap in on before we get out of here?
Nope.
Good. All right, man. We appreciate you for coming on for sure. It's been a great episode. Let's give a round of
Appreciate
applause
y'all having
Yes.
me.
for our first
Appreciate
guest.
it.
Yeah, great.
Got through it.
Go ahead.
Well, I got through it. And I'm glad to be back. Glad we've been on a small hiatus.
Yeah.
Glad to be back. We missing one of our co-hosts this week, but he'll be back in action.
Yeah. Braxton ain't here. He had to do some storm chasing duty. He had to go cover some tornadoes in Kansas. So, but yo, those
tornadoes in Kansas. Jeez Louise.
Hey man, they sending me out at 12 o'clock at night to go chase some tornadoes. I bet you they won't be hearing from me the next day. But all right, y'all. Appreciate everybody. Hit that follow button. Doz, his Instagram, wherever to find him, gonna be right under his name. Give him a follow. Check up on his highlights. Watch the games. Show your support with him. Every guest we have on, just like extended part of the workshop. You know what I'm saying? So, show him love like you would show us love. And then just like that, we out.
Peace.
Holla.
Never too late to stop. Never too late to stop. Look, listen to your heart, hear what it says.